Jiva Garja. This is a new devlog, and this was following the release of Madra Teanga app into kind of, I guess, early access, where we give it to all of the supporters across the Open Collective and Patreon and stuff. So I guess this is a video to show the app as it is, and kind of maybe a bit of a proto tutorial, I guess, because as we will see, there's a lot in the app, and I guess, you know, there's a lot of complexity and there's a lot to kind of do and stuff. So it's also at the first release, so it's the worst it'll ever be. So like a lot of work needs to go into make it user friendly and easier to use and everything like that. This is the home page, and then this is your navigation bar over here. And on mobile, that looks like this. And this is live. You can go to this domain. Although without a code, you won't be able to sign up. So yeah. I'm not sure if I should do it in mobile or if I should do it. I'll do it in desktop because for the nature of the video. Alright. First bit here is just a little bit of fun. It's just kind of showing the date and as much detail as possible in words, and then showing this second kind of counter. For the names, I did look into putting in like automatic, vocative. I've never said that aloud. The vocative case for a name in Irish, but I wasn't able to do it universally. Like I just put in some hard-coded common names. I kind of ran into the wall with this one was finding the rules to do with gender. And I don't fully understand this, but I think like the gender of the person might have an impact on how the vocative shows up, right? So I just shelved that. But for some common Irish names like Shane, Sean, Paul, etc., the vocative will show up here. And this app is for people who are like totally new to the language, and also people who are, old hands. They have a lot of experience with it, and even fluent speakers, right? So trying to accommodate everybody. Let's keep going down. This is kind of like your kind of quick thing, like the features. So you can go and do the course, which I'll show in a bit. You can create lessons. So that's kind of the big difference with this app on Duolingo. Like on this app, creating content and lessons is as much a part of learning as just consuming courses. And research shows that like teaching is one of the best ways to learn. And even like you don't have to publish your courses; you can keep it private. But in language learning, one of the best skills is the ability to create content for yourself, or like create your lessons, or put together your like content for the week to study. And it's also what takes the most time, right? So the idea of this is that maybe we're sharing our resources with each other. So like from anything from Maria Montessori's kind of stuff, where she was like the older children would teach the younger ones, or to like Richard Feynman's technique, where he said that teaching physics was the best way to actually like to know it. So when you're teaching somebody else, when you try to explain something in detail, you might spot gaps in your own knowledge and stuff. So this create lessons and then build vocabulary is separate to courses. So you can kind of imagine this app as being like custom user created stuff, content we create. That's one bucket, and then the other bucket is like tools and stuff on the app that uses the database, the data stuff to like generate lessons for you. And the way that works is everything on the app is tracked. So every time you do a lesson or an exercise, the app automatically tracks if you know the word or you don't know the word. It uses something called Bayesian knowledge tracking, which you can look up if you want, but that literally means every time you get something right, it increases the the guess that you know it, and every time you get it wrong, it decreases. So the more you do it, the more the app thinks you know it, and the less you see it, right? And then for the vocabulary, so that way that works is depending how you set up the lessons. It will either like teach you new words or it will revise old ones, because it has built into it the human forgetting curve, how we forget stuff. So like, spaced repetition. Then so create lessons, and then my courses is like the lessons. So this is when you're doing the courses, the lessons by yourself or someone else, right? My contributions, so throughout the app there is like vocabulary tracking and words and all kinds of stuff, and you can like submit stuff to these, to any word, to a lot of sentences and stuff. So you can like add a definition or a note for learners, or you can add images or videos or audio and stuff, and then you submit them in, and it can be kept for your own use, or you can make it public. You can submit it to be public, and then for the public one, we have like this review process where other users can review your content, and if they approve it, then it can be published, and anybody can use it. And then that's the same here with like browse vocabulary. So I'm just going to click through these in a bit. I think this is probably easier than me just talking about everything. We have a little streak tracker here. This is very much GitHub inspired, of how much activity you've done. And then the Seanachal onlay, the Seanachal, which is popular in the past. And then if you are following people, the stuff comes here. I'm after like running a script 2 days ago to add a heap of words. So with Madra Teanga with the main account, right? So that's what's here. And then if you click on them, you can see what's added. So like if people add courses or content or images, it shows up here, and you can have a look and see what they're doing. I guess one of the design challenges here was like if people were doing stuff and it just was invisible, so we kind of wanted a way that people could spot what's going on. And then throughout the app, then you have conversations. So like if you're on like a word or like an exercise, you can like put in a comment, and people can respond to those. And you can kind of keep track of your conversations here. And if you make private content, submit it to be public, there's a separate kind of conversation you can have with creators, and they might be like, oh, did you make a typo here, the audio's not great there, I don't understand this, and you can kind of have this conversation with all the reviewers to kind of get the content into shape. And then when they're happy, any of the reviewers are happy, they can just approve it, and then you can publish it. And at the bottom then we have some stats of live stats, so you can see exactly what's going on in the app. 16 sign-ups. Yesterday 50 people got emails. Today 50 more get emails about signing up and stuff. I'll talk a bit about that later on, because I don't know, the app, there's a lot in it. I think maybe it might not be what people are expecting, and it's also, there is not many courses yet, so we'll see if people respond. And then while I'm here, I'll just go through the dashboard and the app bar that follows you throughout the app. So up here you get like notifications, just people follow you and other stuff. You can play your radio. You've got Google Translate anywhere you want. And actually with this one here, like I can also, like, you can do more stuff with it. You can like go off the app and stuff, or else you can save it to your list, and you can build up a list of words that you can then just drill on and keep track of and stuff. And then you have this brings you to Discord, which is where we're doing all of the chat and feedback and stuff, because it's just easier than trying to do everything on app. For the app itself, there's no dark mode and there's no theming system. I was trying to add that in, but it was way too much work. So maybe after the open source release we can add that in. But it does have 2 languages, and I'll talk about this because the app has a system in which you can request changes to the Irish translations, and you can also add in more dialects. So you can add in like Munster, Ulster, or even you could add in like language support for Scots, Gaelic, or Manx or even Welsh, I suppose. And then the font system, which is like, some people don't like the handwriting stuff. Some people have dyslexia, and this one helps. And then some people might want the old script. I want this S should be like the old script. It was like we should be able to see it. So I think the lowercase s, this one should be like this, right? Put that up. But everywhere you see a dot here, you can just put a H after it. That's how it's done. And you can see it works in English too, because it's just converting any SH, MH, etc. into like a symbol with a dot. So I'm just trying to think, is SH correct, or did I just overdo it? S dot. Is it that only certain letters have the dots over them? Because I just, when I wrote the code, I just had everywhere that was a H, 2 letters, I would just use the dot and the one before it. I need to go look that up. And then for the really intense people, you can use Ogum. I don't know how to read Ogum. I just have this, like, it's like a layer that you can translate it into any symbols you want. So that's kind of the font system, and we can also add in more fonts if people want more. Be careful, Ogum, if you get it. If you get into it, it's hard to get out. I should probably change the menu to be like a default script, but it's just the second from the top, and any of these. And then as I said, the side menu is how you get around, and Shine. So when you come onto the app, you can click here, or you can click over here. They both go to the same place, and this is like a little tutorial with screenshots, how to get around, the courses, all this. I think this will be added to over time. Just talk to us if you get stuck. So I think I will start going through stuff. First of all, the word system. So I'll go from the bottom to the top. So this is like, throughout the whole app you have word systems, words, and they have these word details cards, and you can like use Google Translate. The reason this isn't like saved is because Google Translate is famously not that accurate when it comes to Irish, and like it's very case sensitive, and also the Google API stuff is free, and they keep updating it, so it's made sense to kind of have it here, but also just to kind of like reinforce that not to take this as gospel. This is just what Google thinks. Also, it uses like the material box, which kind of like shows that it's a bit different to the rest of the app. But at the top, you have these tags. It's a noun, it's feminine, it's second declination, it's your Insta grammar stuff, and then we have a simple like is or is not, if it's part of standard on Kaijon. So maybe for absolute beginners, it's not that important, but as time goes on, it's kind of like nice little useful bits of information. There's definitions. No definitions here. Sometimes we have word net definitions, and honestly they're not the most accurate, but you can add a definition if you want, and then you can save it yourself to use it for your own stuff, or you can submit it for review. And same with notes. You can, a note's just anything. It can be like dialect notes or anything at all that learners might want to know, and you can save it for yourself, or you can submit it for review. And they'll show up here then, and this is like the data from the Bun the Mo. And so I tried the app, try to give direct on the screen credit to wherever this data was taken from, and you can kind of see similar words. So like sometimes this is really good, sometimes it's not so accurate. Like it's kind of hard to get right. Like it was a case of writing scripts, pulling all of that into a database, and writing the stuff, and trying to get it as accurate as possible. But like I didn't go through all 48,000 or it's 150,000 total kind of entries. I didn't go through all of them and check it. So it's like, this is the nature of generated data. Like the sources are good, but it doesn't mean that. So the kind of approach here was just to give loads of information, and then if there was loads of definitions, you can upvote the good ones. There's no downvoting, just uploading. Same with notes, so that the cream rises to the top, right? But it's kind of to like not be like, this is it, this is exactly it, this is totally true, and take this as gospel. It's more like language is a fuzzy thing. It's ever evolving, and it's a broad thing. So kind of, if you're learning, it's good to kind of develop the critical thinking and the ability to kind of spot stuff and do a bit of detective work and all of that. And then over time, hopefully, as people keep contributing stuff and we keep building out the stuff, the data will get more and more good, get gooder, get better, and it'll just improve. And then the way we're doing it too, anybody can contribute. So ideally, hopefully, it will reflect how people are actually using the Irish, rather than like some standard from 50 years ago, or like some one very biased view. Like, we want to have like, how is this spoken in like in a Gaeltacht? How is this spoken in like a pop-up Gaeltacht? How is it spoken in a classroom? How is it spoken in like in the government office? You kind of want to have all of that present, so people can see it all. And then it kind of shows you the forms and stuff. I guess if you like have your Irish down and you're really good. What is this word? Tweet. That's so funny. I didn't even click with the minute. Oh, I need to go Google that. Chonglan. I think honestly, with a lot of people I've spoken to, like they just use the English for stuff like this. But it's in Chonglan. That's interesting. Can't get a definition though. I can just get the grammar for it.
Tweet.
And then at the bottom, it's just funny actually. I went to Chonglan over here. I could have just done it here, right? I could have just done it like this. This is where literally I'm on the other screen. I just googled this.
Tweet.
So I need to build up better habits myself. If these show up here, it doesn't mean that it exists. It just means that it will like search for it. Like it might not be here. I can't remember if we loaded it into Opera or not. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Tweet.
So this is like another thing with the app. It's like, I think other apps, they're trying to get you to stay in the app and like spend all your time in the app and become dependent on the app. And this is like, the classic software as a service model, where it's like, if we get you hooked on our app and using it daily, then we can just charge you a monthly fee, but we don't really have that limitation. Like, our only goal is for people to actually learn Irish and improve Irish, and that's all we really care about. So for us, like, linking to other free resources is really good, right? Just please go use these resources. When you're learning Irish, learn how to use the tools, right? Like, learn how to actually navigate around, and there's some really good stuff out there. So I kind of like you'll see that throughout the app. We're kind of encouraging you to like go off the app, look up stuff, to like engage in the Irish language learning community and the speaking community, and to kind of like learning a language isn't something that you do like 6 months or 2 years and then you do it like a college course or like a thing, and at the end of it you get the certificate, and then it's like it's like you learn a language, you're taking on this thing that's going to become part of you, part of your identity, right? So it's going to be something that, like, if you're going to be successfully, you're building the habits the tools, the skills, all this kind of stuff to adopt the language. So it's like the app is trying to like also expose people to this as well. I think when you learn like your native language growing up, you're at home with your family or with friends and stuff, and you're all talking, you're constantly surrounded by it, and then you can ask questions, and by the time you go to school, if you're 4 or 5, you have 4 or 5 years of us constantly having your L1 language, your mother tongue spoken, and it's all you've ever had. So you've had to like try and first of all you listen and understand, and then you start like speaking, and if you most young children, when they start speaking, adults lose their shit over it. And, just so much positive encouragement. For your L2 language, or like a language you learn after, it's like a whole different process. You have to like build up the tools, and you have to like kind of get little by little more and more exposure, and to the point that like you're just engaging the language without it being work, right? And people are not falling over you if you like speak a few words of Irish or French, right? It's cool, but it's not like your first word, right? So I mean, like, there's a lot of people that say you should learn second language like your first, and total immersion and all that kind of stuff. I would say that it's not as efficient as you think to do it that way. Like there is a lot to be said for using what you know in one language and using that to like build a scaffolding, or like a way to learn a second, right, to kind of jump across. And there obviously is issues with this, with like always translating and stuff, but I think if you were totally immersed in a new language for 4 years, you probably would be speaking by the end of it. But I think if you put in the effort and the time to try out different tools, see what works for you, different habits, different stuff, you'll probably get there much faster. And also when you get there, the learning how to learn, you can then use to learn any language, right? So you've learned the language of learning, right? So it's kind of how I see it. I mean, like, give you some examples. Like stuff that works for other people, like flashcards and like textbooks and stuff, that never really worked for me. But stuff like I'll watch a lot of like football in Spanish, or I'll play video games and I'll stick it into Spanish, or like I like stick TV shows or something to Spanish, and like I'm just sitting there listening to it. I'm not even thinking that, registering that it's learning. It's just that it's a bit tougher at times to follow along, right? But that's a much easier way to learn. And maybe I might not learn as much as if I sit down for an hour and I learned off the verb tables, but I can watch TV for hours on end. Like, I've had a lifetime of practice for watching stuff in a different language. So if you can kind of get to this stage that you're like just doing it naturally. And then the other thing I was to say is that, like, in schools and a lot of traditional education, it's very much around like what's the word, like preemptive learning, like learning just in case. So like learn all this stuff in case you might need it. But it's a lot more effective, fun, and like I guess efficient to learn like just as you need it. Like if you are doing something and you don't have to do something, and then you go learn how to do it, then that knowledge will stick with you because it was useful, right? And because you're just learning a small bit of it. So that's kind of like a lot of the design and philosophy in this app. It's like just have what you need when you need it, so it sticks, and not just be bombarding you with like, I remember when I was learning Polish, the teacher gave me like all this vocabulary and like cousins and uncles and all this kind of family stuff, and I was like, I'm never going to speak to a Polish person here about my family. I don't know how to order a coffee. I'm not going to do this. I don't know how to go in and navigate the bureaucracy, or like I don't know how to like do these things, and like I'm not going to be talking to some stranger about my third cousin. But I think a lot of traditional language courses, they like try to cover the most general case of what you might be talking about, like pastimes and hobbies and stuff like this. But I found it much more effective just to learn what you need, learn scenarios and stuff. So yeah, that's where you can up a random word, but like you can also just do this, and you can search vocabulary, and you can see here on the card, it will be tagged with Munster, Ulster, Connacht, and an E is for Ella for other, right? And then the Kaijan tag is here if it's a part of the standard, and then if it's available, it'll show you what type of word it is, noun, verb. I think for a lot of language learners, they don't really know the difference between noun, verb, preposition, or care. For a lot of people, I think a lot of like native speakers don't know about these things. And you don't need to know about these to learn a language. But if you do know, they are quite helpful. And it's quite helpful, particularly going from English to Irish, because the verb might not be where you expect it to be. It's a bit of foreshadowing. And for stuff like prepositions are like absolutely huge in Irish, like lum, dum, these words are like so important. And over here you can see, like I talked earlier on about the percentage chance that you know it. The app thinks that I know this letter sound A 97%, which thinks I know it. But I haven't done any exercises in this one in a long time, and I just started, so it says you should probably go and review this one. If I review it a few times, it will stop telling me to review it, and so you can kind of quickly see which ones you've come across and which ones you have not. Elsewhere in the app, when Irish sentences show up, if it's a new, you'll see a little star beside it, so that's kind of handy. And then you can also add it to your list here if you want. And then if you want, you can basically filter this list. You can search, if you want, you can search with photos or without photos. And let me turn off the filter so we can see this in live. Yeah, you can see that came up there. And if I do this, ignore photos, and then if I say follow photos, it's still showing up. Interesting that there are different results, but not the different ones you might expect. But yeah, if you might want to just do filters. So frequency bands. So like top 100, couple of focal, and then up to your thousands. Let me see if I can search. So the European Standard of language proficiency, which is very skewed towards Germanic and Latin languages, word count. But interestingly, the Irish Leaving Cert and Irish Junior Cert themselves tie themselves to this standard. So if you did higher level Irish in your Leaving Cert, I think it's B2, isn't it? Irish Leaving Certificate. Actually, I didn't ask for AI, but look, is it even correct? No, it's not. Because I was reading the syllabus and I was referencing this, so I'll look it up some other time. The syllabus and stuff for the Irish Leaving Cert and Junior Cert, it's not that long of a document to read, so it's body speaking, chief amongst phrase, B2. That's a rabbit hole. But I, from my experience in life, if you get to B2, you're generally gonna stick with the language. Like generally, if you get to B2, you can read and watch TV, and it's just a question of using the language. Like B2 is kind of getting to B2 is hard, but once you're there, you should be able to maintain it. And then C1, C2 is like the C2 is like near fluent, near native. But I think in C1 you can work in the language, right? So, but anyway, my point being, there's they say 4,000 to 5,000 words vocabulary for these levels. They say in our native languages we have 20 to 30,000 depending on who you are, or more. So if you kind of break that down in your head, if you learn and you can only learn so many words a day. Your brain only has so much capacity, right? It's like if you have ever done block laying, you can only do so many layers. You know, you need to wait the next day to come back and do it again. But yeah, if you kind of calculate that, if you did like 1 word a day, that's 350 a year. So that's like 1 word a day would be what? So that would take you 10 years, 1 word a day to get to B1 or B2 even, 10 years. But it's not that like that because it's like this efficiency thing. The more you learn, the more you can learn, right? So in the beginning, you might just struggle with 1 word or 2 words, and then as you get going and you're flying along, you can watch TV and pick up 10, you know, like in an hour session, and you can pick up a heap of words. And then like when you get to like a few thousand or a few hundred, you're spotting patterns, and you're able to kind of infer words, and there's words that are similar to your native language, and there's all kinds of stuff. You know, you can learn off these rules to generate new words on the fly with like grammar rules and stuff. Like you can learn like say the present tense of a word, and then you know the rules, so you automatically know the past tense, the future tense, and you know like all of the other tenses, right? So yeah, raw word count isn't the most best way to do it, but it's just better than having like magic experience points, right? And then you can also break this down by category. So this uses first of all the WordNet, which there's an Irish version called Gaelic WordNet done by Kevin Scanlon, which is a lot of the app is driven by that data source, because of his like open source work. Basically, that's why we're able to do this, and that's also why like this app needs to be open source, right? It wouldn't make sense to be using open source, open data, and not be making our own data open. So yeah, you can kind of just flick down through this and change it into like different categories, and then this is a bit. I probably should fix that up. Have a look and see what's on the app. You will see a lot of like stray words or words missing or words that shouldn't be there and stuff. I mean, the app has the ability that way you can let me see if I can show you this. The app has the ability where you can like request changes. Oh, that's frustrating. It doesn't really matter what word it is. So I already showed that you can add in your own definitions, but you can also edit the word. So you can change what type of word it is, if it's inclusion, add tags, grammar. You can like, and if you change these forms will change. You can kind of change all this stuff, and if the word exists, you can like save that up and put in notes, and then you can submit it, and then we'll review it, and if it looks good, we'll approve it, and then we'll update the word for everybody, or you can save it for yourself if you want it. Yeah, a lot of stuff. This is all like loaded in with the Python scripts, and then I made the form and stuff. It's quite satisfying to see it rendered like this. And just that I've seen this now, I'll show you what I was talking about with definition. Like A is aber and has these definitions. So like it's like some of these are not very accurate, and then sometimes they seem like they're wrong, and then you look it up. Like one time I thought one was wrong, and then I looked up and it said it was like a type of seaweed, and it actually was, as well as being like a I can't remember what word it was. It was like a very common word. Yeah, so you can kind of do your Google Translate, and then you can kind of like infer it between this and the definitions. This is another thing too. Like it's dangerous to do direct translations word to word. It's rare for languages to have exactly the same meanings for things. It subtly gets lost, so it's kind of better sometimes just to have like a broader definition that you can kind of refine by seeing it. So like you can kind of see it in here. You can upvote which one you think is right. Let's see. I'm trying to make mention of, report, express. Yeah, this one's the most accurate to me, so I can. Oh, a little bit of a bug. Second bug. Oh, it's all gone to. It's all gone to pieces. I'll fix that once this video's over. I knew about the rudder issue. I didn't know about the upvote issues. And also, I'm pretty sure that it did work, but it just didn't show on the screen. That's a known issue too. Oh no, it just didn't work at all. Okay, the votes don't work. Interesting. This is why we have betas. And then you can also have a little discussion here about it. Or you used to be able to before it broke. I'm still going to post this video because I've spent so long talking. But yeah, definitions here, and then forms, and then here is where you will see all of the sentences in the app that uses this word that has English translations. So so you can kind of like use this to infer what the word actually means, right? This is it's more reliable to do it this way, is to like just have it use the sentences, see it in context basically, and then define it that way. As people make more courses, add more sentences show up here. And this is another system we have in the app where basically see at the top we have like what type of word it is, and then if it was mutated, we would have it up here of what form of word it's mutated from. Mutated being basically like it changes based on context, right? So yeah, so this thing here kind of shows this, and if a word is new to you, you'll see like a little new star beside it. And this one is this, and then see it says it's shave you elimination of toil. Shane, I have no idea how long this video is, and I have not even gotten to the courses yet, so I'm not sure what people are going to think of this app. Maybe it's a bit too much. The first time I'll be accused of being that, but the other thing we have is the frequency based on the corpus.ie, I think, or maybe it was somewhere else, but we have like how common the word is. So yeah, so I've showed you this. Now let's go into build your vocabulary. This is the generate stuff based on all of we just showed you. We can now generate lessons. So these are similar to the filters we saw before, but this is different in that we will do exercises in these bands. So and it will show you how much you know about them and stuff. So like this is kind of your progress tracker in the app, right? You can do the courses or you can do this, and you'll build up your knowledge this way. And you can do it by bands and stuff. And then everyone I showed you when I was adding stuff. So if you start them, or if you're doing Google Translate and you add them, they all get saved up here. So you can just do your own list if you want. And yeah, so this. So then when you go into these lists, and I think in the future we can like make this more configurable and maybe like, you know, do more with it. But the way it is now, it's like, okay, there's 100 words here, you know X amount, and you have this stuff. So you can go in here and you can choose to revise 10 words you've already done. And the reason it's 10 is because if you've seen them already, it's not as much of a mental load. Or we can pick 5 new ones. So let's pick 5 new ones, and it will pick 5 new ones from the list of 100 words. And then it's going to show them to you here. And I'm going to show you another little bug I saw yesterday. I need to fix this for mobile screens. We'll do that tonight. I guess me kind of saying how much more is left to do in the app. So you can kind of stay here as long as you want, and you can kind of like get to Google Translate, and then you can kind of go in here and do what we did before, and you can kind of just like spend as much time as you want. You know, make friends with these words. There was a famous. Oh, here we go, tangent time. There was a famous mathematician, Indian mathematician, Ramanujan. I can never pronounce his name. I've always seen it written. Really like phenomenal. But when he was asked about numbers, he replied that they were his friends, and I thought that was just like, that's so true. When you're really into something, you start like forming these relationships with like abstract concepts. So yeah, so you can kind of take a look down, and on the app at the moment there's 800 plus. No, there's probably about 2,000 audio files, 800 of which are sentences, but they are 400 in Connacht, 400 in Ulster. So we also have 450. We've 900 words in Connacht and Ulster, one of which is fan. So this should be here. If I go into this one, why is that not? It is here. So that's another little bug. It's not showing up for some reason. I have to fix that. So if the audio is present on this app, and you can add it if it's not, or if it's there, you can add audio too and submit it. This is Connacht and Ulster.
Van.
And if you want, you can boost it up.
Van.
And then the Ulster one. This one, this is why I put the volume in. I took the audio in and then I filtered it, and I cleaned out the noise, but I didn't normalize or boost the volume because I was afraid of destroying the audio quality. But I might need to go back and do that. So yeah, I like these. The reason I put these in is because when I was doing the audio on Audacity, it had the stuff, and I found it really, really useful. I was learning a ton. And then there's images, they show up here, and there's videos, they show up here. Videos can be like 15-second clips in the database, or it can be like a link to YouTube. YouTube, because we don't pay any hosting there, right? We just give a link. And this one, oh, that's probably another issue too, isn't there's no way this word is in the top 100. No way. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. What's that? Bug number 10? When you're in here, and you basically are given all the sentences on the app that have the word in it, and the word itself is blocked out. So like you need to kind of guess it from the context, and you have to be shown the 5 words. If you use a hint, so if I get this right now, I'd get 10% increase in the chance that I know this word. If I use a hint, that drops to 5%. And if I Google Translate, that dropped again to 2%. And if I use session words, it's one of these 5, it drops down to 1%. And if I reveal the solution, it drops down to 0%. So if you don't know it, and you know you don't know it, and you use something like this, you get 0%. But if you think you know it and you get it wrong, it actually gets minus. Because it's much worse if you think you know and you don't know. You know, it's fine if you know you don't know, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, I didn't know I just did that. That's cool. Okay, so then this is the word here. If I put it in wrong at all, I guess it goes red immediately. So you can kind of keep messing around until you get it right. I should put a little thing there, right? Aren't they satisfied? So same thing again. So if it's 10%, I reveal it, goes down to 0. And then you can go in here, and then you can and then you can go and check out the word. And then also, I don't think this is not the top 100 too, is it? Or maybe it is. Yeah, so then, wait, did I not enter that right? Oh, it's broken, right? This speech needs work. Funny. Let me just go check the vocab. That one is there, and then there's no sign of vinyl or whatever. So it's this list here is correct, but this thing here is not working right. That's fine. I actually spent the least time on this the last few months because I'm working out around the app. Yeah, so this will be continue to be improved and stuff. And that's these two, and then if we were to add any stuff, we can kind of keep track of it here, notes and stuff, and then conversations and audios and stuff. Oh, no, it's taking a while. Oh, they fixed that. This is loading in all 2000 audio clips, because obviously this is the account I'm using, right? So I need to paginate that. It's funny. Unless someone else is going to upload 1,000 audio files in the next week, I don't think that's a major issue for them, but I should fix that. Is it just... No, it's just slow, yeah, because of the pagination. And then... Let's see. So that's like the word stuff underneath it all, and generating lessons and all the words and stuff, but... And it's kind of like, that'll kind of always be there, and you can when I fix it, you can use it for any learning, but that's not the main focus of the app. The main focus of the app is on user-created courses, built on top of all of that, right? So let's do the Connacht one. Let's just go into as a learner, right? So you can go in here and you can search for courses. There's only these two on the app at the moment, and they only have one act in them each, so like they're kind of light. And you can go into these. I will go into them in a second. I'll just show you the other options. You can also follow creators. I just follow everybody. Nobody else has courses yet, so. But if I go to Bunny or Dara's screen, no courses yet, I can see all of what he's been doing, one of his accounts. I can also ban him if I want, because I'm an admin. Ban just means you can't do comments or like post stuff. That's if someone comes in and starts, abusing or putting up obscene content and stuff, we'll just ban them. You can still use the app and stuff. So if admins can ban, everybody else can report, and then reports are seen by admins. Yeah, and then so you can follow the creators. They have courses, you can see what courses they have and stuff. And then for the creators, they can put in like links to their other, anything else they get going on, they can put links. Also, any content people put up, they own. The license, all that kind of stuff is theirs. We only get putting on the app only means we can show it on the app. So there's no reason not to put it on the app, because you can put it there, and if it's free, people can use it, and then they can go find your other content, even if it's paid or whatever. Sounds of Irish is because of the audio and stuff. People have requested from the very beginning something to like hear the sounds of Irish. So you can go here by letter, and do it this way, and then you can also like actually like, and it will show you all of the words that has this. So you can kind of listen. I don't know why that's slow.
Is.
It's funny because if we just put in like the raw FH sound, it would just be silence. So this is useful to hear it in the context.
Oi.
And I think more sounds can be added in here, definitely.
Bish.
Especially with the vowels and stuff.
Monk.
This isn't tracked on. This is just for like, you know, learning and stuff. Yeah, this is kind of a rushed feature too, so like I could probably do a lot more with it. But the main reason people will be here is for the courses, and I'll go into this one, and at the top it has the tags. Yeah, so this is not by me. I need to change this. This is by Adon. Just that I uploaded it, right? The level A1, A2, Lu scale is the story to start. This is the same as the one for the one I made for Chunuk, basically, but it's just being proofread and brought across and stuff. So everything you see here, anybody can create, and I'll show you the creator tools in a second. But anybody can create this course. I didn't do anything special. There's nothing unique about this course. This was all made on the app. So we've got two sections. We only have one. The second one's empty. 3 lessons, just 403 audio clips here. Although only Act 1 is there, so like it's what, a lot less, 100 maybe. 69 unique words, 10 new to you. And you can go here and you can have a little chat and stuff with the course, with people and stuff, and the creator gets notified and all of this. And then we go to Act 1, and again, all of this is totally doable on the app to make it. So go into Lu, and then the way this is done, you can chat at the bottom too, but it's broken between learn and test. And learn is something you might do once, and test is something you might keep going back to. And the tests, we have the sentences, so read and type, text and type, listen, type, and then this is multiple choice. And then for the words, the same 3 options. And you can do any of these you want, or as little as you want. Learn is new. A lot of Shunuk and Madra Teanga was always like exercise driven, like okay, like say this and here's the answer and keep doing this until you memorize it. But people want, you know, they want to be taught how to do it first. It's the biggest complaint in the past was like, what am I doing? You just ask me how to say what my name is. You haven't told me yet. And this is this. And with this, anybody can create these courses. I'm going to show you this course in the creator in a bit. But you can put your title in, and then I just took an image from the public domain, and then it's Mishalu. So here you can see the feature I talked about. If the words are new to you, it shows up here. The little star. I think I did come across these words before. This might need to be fixed as well. It tells you this is a pronoun, this is the cupola, and you can click on this and see what that is. We can do a lot more with this. I will do a lot more with this in the future. And then you can have a little listen.
This Mishalu.
You can hear this Mishalu. I am new. It is I am. It's funny, like this is like this is the first sentence in Irish, and you have to teach like the cupola, like how to use Misha, like is versus ta, like all these kind of like relatively difficult concepts for an English speaker. So is identity I am. This is like the ser, estoy in Spanish. It's like you need to learn up front, and it's like just confuses things, and then you overstress about it. Misha may. Yeah, so I don't know, like if this makes sense to people. It might need to be simplified a bit more. And here we put in like, I don't know about ta. I mean, this could probably be explained a bit better. I don't know. Only so many hours in the day to work in this stuff, and you know, like I don't know if it's obvious or not, but it's just myself working on it at the moment, and it's very much in between trying to make ends meet with other projects. So dev time is a real issue, but now the course creator is open. Other people can make content, and hopefully the open source stuff will open it out too. Or maybe, who knows, maybe we might get lucky and I can start making enough off this to go full time.
This fireman.
His name is again, it's Farming, I'm a man. And when I designed this course originally, I designed it that like in the first ones you'd be like Ismisha, you know, Isfarame, like you do the identity and then we introduce Ta and then we introduce. So in the course where I designed it was we introduce one concept, we show it fully, and then we move on and show the next another concept, show it to her the same. So we're only ever showing you one new thing in each lesson. That was the way the course was designed. That might be why the story is a bit clunky. You know, it wasn't made for a narrative point of view. It was made to kind of try and cover certain topics.
It's found me.
And again, this like isn't supposed to be like the definitive Irish course. This is supposed to be like an example of what anybody can make, right? And then down here, man, as far as me. So we start off with just a multiple choice because you're not typing just yet, just to make sure that you get it.
Lose and come.
Lose and come. And then here. And you can also click on these words, like throughout this you can click on all of these and like go explore them, add them to your list and whatnot. Oh, I should fix that. And then at the bottom you have a little exercise.
Is Misha Blue.
No, I really like this that feature. It's one of my favorites, and it's the way it's done is you add blocks, and these are automatically set up. So if you add in your text and your audio, automatically the lessons will do this. I'll get rid of this. This is not really needed on a desktop, but that's good to have it. Yeah, and it's kind of more the same then of this, and like you can do a lot more here. You can use images and videos and multiple choice and any lessons you want. I mean, I guess the courses are a bit thin, but like I built it all and I was trying to just rush out a course. Let's do the lessons then.
Is Misha Blue.
Okay.
Is Anim.
Where's Anim?
Lose and come. Is Fad.
Oh yeah, and if you're missing the fodder, it just goes orange.
Is Far me.
It's fine.
Ta May was it.
I want to actually get this out of your typing.
Oh.
You can just like go fast.
Yeah. Oh no.
Like maybe even just enter, get you to the next one. So you can just go really fast. All these ergonomic things.
May. Ta May and Chuck.
I think I will do that next because the idea of these lessons is that you're like kind of come back to them to like practice
Will.
and just go as fast as you can, because the faster you go, the more likely that you like have it down fluently. Ta
Ta
das.
Dorchadas. Ta Dorchadas and Chuck.
I don't. The app doesn't penalize like typos or misspelling, and that's probably because, well, for not many reasons. But like, I am the worst person for typos, and my dyslexia doesn't help. So I was never going to penalize it. Ban and show.
Ta Ban. And Chuck. Ta Ban and Chuck freshen. Okay.
I'm just realizing there's no hint here. Oh, I should add that in. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I should have showed this already. I got into the weeds. There's a. I don't know if I can see this or not. There's a heart system here. Do you see it? Oh no! I'm gonna have to reset the page. That's gonna leave. I should fix that too. I'll go back to the tests. This one, there's a heart system up here. And because you can type which you want, you're not going to get penalised. It'll only complete when you get it right. If you get truly stuck, you can reveal it, and if you reveal it, that removes the heart. So if you lose all three, you start again. You can go and do all this kind of stuff and come back. I need to fix that coming back thing too, so you don't lose your progress. Lots of little things to be done. So yeah, so if you get if you go through the lesson and you don't use any hints, any reveals, you get 3 gold stars. If you use all of your lives and get to the end, you get 1 gold star, and in between 2 silver. And then this one is just the same thing, but you listen.
Yes, Michelle Lou.
Same.
Yes, Michelle Lou.
And then so just listening and then writing, and then audio is like I am Lou, so then it's like
Tanyard, no. Tá bailing seo freisin, is Michelle Lou. Is Farman.
there we go. It's probably the easiest of them, but also it's support for people who maybe don't want to type. And then we have the same setup for
Monsieur, Fard, Orum.
for this one, and it's the same tree so. And this is just I set these ones up myself, and you can set up anything you want here. This is just to show off what can be done. It's not do it this way.
Fard.
Yeah, Sinead. So that's this one, and now I'll go into the course creator. So then into either my courses here. We should have courses. Yeah, we should have courses, and then we should have my courses, because we have this one done twice. No, this is the courses, and this is my courses. Okay, I'm just being silly. So you can create a new course if you want, and here is another feature that the app has, and this is let me delete this one. So you can basically upload, download courses. So these are .madra files is what they're called, and it's just a compressed file. What did I just import? Oh yeah, that's how it exists. Demo everything. So this is after importing a course, right? Because it was in a .madra file, and then you can go and do this course. This is just one I have for showing off different things. Delete that, and then the other thing you can do is if you make a course, you can download them, and it downloads. What did I just do there? Parent download. That's from earlier on. That was a bit of a weird glitch. Be careful. So I downloaded .madra files. .madra files are just literally the kind of files for the courses, compressed. So you can download them, upload them, and you can share them amongst different people, and you can share anywhere you want. You can even put it on a store. It's like a Anki kind of deck thing, right? So you can share them around. Let's go into the content course, which we were doing. So like I said before, you can change anything you want here, put in tags, you can change the appearance. This one is currently live, so if I want to edit it live and I need to create a draft, or I can unpublish it, but please don't do that. So this is a draft, and then I can go around and I can change the appearance. I can make this red, and all of the emojis are here. This was done by a range of the first emoji to the last emoji. So in no way did I go through these and pick the emojis. It was just here's all the emojis that you can use. So there might be some weird ones in here. That's not me. That's just the codes. So you can pick anything you want, and maybe in the future we might curate this, or maybe we might put in more images or custom images and stuff, and you can also upload your own images and whatnot. up the top here, and then the appearance, and then you can choose to track the vocabulary, like I said before with the BKT and the, like, you know, do you know it and all that kind of stuff, or you can turn that off. The reason you might turn that off is if you're doing something like a say Scots Gaelic or Manx or Welsh, or even you can even do Spanish or French or any language you want course, you can turn off the vocabulary tracker. If the vocabulary tracker is on, the course cannot be submitted for review until every word on it has an entry in the database. So let's be aware of that. You can like make it that it's sequential, so you need to do this one, then you do this one, then you do this one, or you can turn that off. You can mark it if it's part of the standard, if it's adheres to the standard, and you can allow community discussions, so people leave comments, or you can turn that off. Here you can see the media used in this course. This one uses 18 megabytes. You can use up to 1 gigabyte. If needs be, we can increase that limit. It's just to stop someone like putting their video catalog up and using it as a personal drive or Netflix, right? Because you can put anything you want locally. Anything you want locally, it doesn't matter. It's only if you submit it to be public that it needs to not be copyright. You can add sections as much as you want. So we have sections, and then in the section we have acts here, but it's just, this is just Act 1, Section 1, but in this one we have lessons, sections, and then lessons, right? And you can move these up and down, change the order, and you can delete them and all that kind of stuff, and submit for review. And then this one here, we've got 3 lessons, and we can preview it, and we can edit all this stuff too, change the appearance again, and add in more stuff. And maybe in the future we might add more here, so you can put in videos and whatnot. And then into Loo, which we've done, these are the 3 exercises that the lessons, and here's the test that we did, and you can add as many as you want. We're going to start a test, and then here is what I talked about before. If you have vocabulary tracking on, you need to have entries for all of these, and if you have a word that doesn't exist in the database, it will show up here, and it will ask that you add in that word with your submission. So then let's go into the lesson. Get rid of this, not needed. So I can add and I want here images to the title. This is, I can edit this and put in that I want here. This is just text. It shows a little preview, and it's markdown support, so you can do a bit more with it. I know this is quite complicated, and more will be done to make it more easy to use, but the focus is on giving people all the tools they could possibly want. And this is the audio. If I show you this, so all you do here is put in any Irish text you want, and you can optionally add in an audio file for the text, and then for this, then automatically it will give you this little feature here with the these highlighters. There is an entry for Loo, but it has no type of word. Yeah, I need to update that. I'll do that. So you get this automatically by putting in the sentence, and then if you have the audio, it shows up here. So then let's go down to the multiple choice, what that looks like. So this is like, here's the question, this is the this here is for the tracker. So if you get this right, the tracker needs to know what you got right, what word you know, so you know far that's what this is. And then you put in your options, and then you mark which one is right. And you can add in anything you want here, images, audio, video, recording and stuff. Yeah. And you can also pick recordings you already have from like this. This needs to be improved. It's like just shows everything at the moment. You have to make it easier to navigate. Sinead, so I want to go down and find the typing lesson and show that one. Oh yeah, this is because that, yeah. It's the typing lesson, so then this is like the prompt. You can also add an audio one, and then you pick recording. Why is that not?
Is Misha Lou?
And if I edit this, is that recording there, or am I not seeing it? I don't know, I need to fix that then, but that's another bug.
Is Misha Lou?
You can work it around, but it's annoying. And then at the bottom, you can like in between, you can add any blocks you want, and you can move them around up and down, and then you can add more blocks. So you can like, these are the types. You get your heading, your text, English text. The difference between English and Irish is the Irish gets the highlighting and like the audio support and all that kind of stuff. Tip, divider, this kind of formatting, image, audio, video, multiple choice, any types you want.
Is Misha Lou?
And then typing, and then true or false. I actually haven't done any of these yet, but you get the idea. It's like, is this true or not?
Is Misha Lou?
Yeah, so the prompt is like prompt. Sorry, I'm just thinking, will this affect anybody? Question, because this is a live course, but it won't show up until it's approved. Question, answer. What will I say about?
Is Misha Lou?
I wonder, is this one not showing up here because I did it before that feature was added? There's a lot of that in the app too. It's just like it wasn't. I didn't preview properly, did it? So then if I go up here and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, let's try this one out. The audio's not playing for some reason. I'll look into that too. That's what, bug number 20. I won't have to work on this either until after the weekend. Yeah, it's hard to find time to work on it because of other commitments. I literally spent 3 weeks non-stop in it, and like as a result, other commitments got like it's the kind of bare minimum. Now I need to go and focus on my like day job and stuff to kind of get those released. So it is what it is. So that's it. That's the course. And then when you're happy with it, you can go and see, this doesn't exist. So I have to go in here, and I'd have to go and like basically add this as a word and submit that in as a word. Okay. So when it's submitted for review, it shows up here to reviewers. Not everybody is a reviewer at the start. We like give that out to people. We kind of need to like, you know, make sure people know how to do it and stuff. But any kind of thing, anything like submitted shows up here. This is the one that I just submitted, right? So then I can just go and take a look, and I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. There's nothing here. I can be like, nothing here. Or maybe something less rude. Oh, another bug. Interesting. Yeah, and then if I'm happy and I approve this, then it will show up. It will show up in the database, which would be an issue in that case. So we've done a lot. We've covered a lot of ground, and this is why your discussions will show up. The app has support for Irish and English at the moment. It could have support for these languages. The way that works is we have the English here, and then here you can add the translation, and then you can like submit changes. And if you wanted, you can also go here and be like, you know, these are all owned by my account, right? You can go in here and you can like change this to something that's you know more. If it's an issue with it, you can change it, and then you can submit it. And then if it's a review process, someone reads it, it's like, yeah, you're right, and they approve it instantly. It updates the app. So yeah, review, and then the admin stuff. A few admins on it now. There's nothing confidential here. It's like the flag content, This is so we can see what like the reviewer sees. So this is what you'll see if you come on and you're not a reviewer. So we can just test that out. And then users and roles. This is where I can set admin or reviewer rights. The access codes is where I can generate codes to give the people to sign up, and then we have the storage quotas to like see if we need to give people more storage or what way the app is behaving with like space, because we don't want to like have terabytes of data on the database that we're paying for. I don't want to open these because it will show usernames, and I don't want to give away emails and stuff. So I won't. But yeah, you can see there's a lot on the app, and like I removed like the about page, the theme page, the support us, the list of supporters, everything else. Everything on the app is like has a purpose. And you can kind of see like there's how many bugs did I find this time around? 20. They all need to be fixed, and then even if all the bugs were fixed, I think like this can be like made easier to use. Specifically, like I think this can be made a lot easier to use, a lot more intuitive, and like easier. At the moment, like, this interface is a bit challenging. I mean, the focus was getting the features in and getting them to work, to see what people would use and stuff. But yeah, a lot to be done, and I think it's just going to be a case of every week just do a bit more. But my plan is to get this onto mobile app and then desktop app. The desktop app is kind of cool, and even mobile, because like you can basically use this offline. You can just download the courses and export them and do all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so mobile and desktop is kind of the priority while fixing the bugs, which is going to be an ongoing process. And then following that, publicly releasing the code, open sourcing the code, and that will take a bit of time to prepare tutorials, document the code, clean it, and all of that. I kind of want the app out and being used, and like that, like it doesn't have to be perfect, but the core of the app needs to be there, that people find value in it and they're coming back to it, and it's actually, you know, that the whole app is supposed to be helping people learn Irish. That's the main goal. So figuring out that core loop and stuff is the most important thing. But then yeah, once kind of like the apps are released on mobile and desktop, and hopefully at that stage the app is very like stable and people are finding value in it, then release it to open source. Be completely honest with you, I'm a bit nervous about open sourcing it. There's a lot of vibe stealing and like people just taking public code now and like either like spamming it with like requests with AI or just full on taking features out of it. You know, this app is supposed to be free and forever, and the idea is that as a community we'll keep adding to it and building it up, and over years it'll be better. I would hate if someone came along, I don't know, raised like a few million or something, or had some money and like just vibe stole all the ideas out of this, and then like stuck a price tag and then hired a team of 10 engineers to go and like go faster. You know, that would just be pretty devastating, even with the licenses we have. But maybe it's an unfound concern. Maybe like it's fine, like it's not going to happen. And maybe if it did happen, it wouldn't be the end of the world, because you know at least you'd have an Irish app and stuff. But yeah, after spending like every waking free moment I had for a year working on this, I think it's only natural to have a bit of I guess negative emotions, a bit of fears and anxieties, and I guess even with the app now, like I'm so blind to it. I'm like, you know, this is, you know, I built it to what I thought would solve the problem, and as the problems came up, which was originally built the app and it was with people use it, and I said yeah, people will use it, and then it's like, okay, if we keep adding it, will it actually teach the language? And I'm like, yeah, this is kind of working. And then it was a case of like, we can't get content onto the app fast enough, and then how do we get content for every level and every dialect? And how do we do that without like a budget or like money? And if we had to go and charge money for the app, we would have to go down and like raise money to build a team, because if you're paying money for an app, it needs to be perfect from day one, and all of this stuff. So yeah, but time will tell. I don't think I'll be able to stop this, right? So like, this is something I'll be working on for the next decade or many decades, regardless if it's just myself working on it and no one else using it. I guess the question is if other people see it as I see it, and if other people will kind of start making content on the app and then start helping the code and stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll see. There's not much else to say. I think later on this week I want to do a tutorial series on like how to write the code. I've meant to that for a while. I've held off on posting it because I didn't feel right to be like posting other content when people are waiting to get access to the app. On the launch itself, like, it wasn't the case that like I was happy with it and I thought this is great, let's go and release it. It was more of a case of like, I'll just spend 3 weeks non-stop on this, and like, you know, I'm not happy with it still, but if I keep going forever, it's never going to be released. So it's better to get it out there and get feedback and start fixing it and make a move towards open source, instead of just keep polishing it and like until it gets better. But yeah, I guess time will tell. So Sinead, that's me. Mila Bucas, August Long Live, August. Take care of yourself. Where am I going now? This is going to stay in the video too, because I'm not going to go through the effort of the video's not recording, is it? Oh, thank God. I'm gonna leave this in. I thought the video didn't record. I thought I didn't press record and I couldn't find nowhere to stop it, and then I thought I've just spent however long this video is talking and doing all of that, and it didn't record, but I can see it here. That's happened a lot of times before, by the way. So Sinead of more.